Did she give you enough time, John?
John gets all the time he wants.
Our last inductee, the umpires always go last. And we put them all in the back too, so. John Zadnick from Plainville, Connecticut. There is not too much that goes on in Plainville, Connecticut that this man is not involved with. He should be the mayor. He's the retired part-time athletic director of Plainville High School and has been involved in everything from getting Plainville from the old Northwest Conference into the CCC where they're a current member. And John now is one of the top umpires in the state of Connecticut, umpiring over 20 state championship games. John works Division I, II, and III college softball. He's worked 6 national ASA tournaments, and he was inducted into the Connecticut ASA Hall of Fame in 2000. And I know you're going to take a long time, so I'll just introduce you. Our next speaker, umpire John Zadnick.
All right, Mark brought this up, so Judy, I got a question for you don't start the clock yet. You know I'm an umpire, right?
Yeah, so they told me.
I got it. All right, so automatically, to you at least, that means I have lousy eyesight, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how come you put all my friends in the back of the room? I can't even see them back there. That's where they wanted to sit. Oh, okay. Would you guys wave or make some noise so I know you're here? All right, thank you. All right, still no clock yet. All right, for somebody that told me that she wasn't going to say anything, I think Vicki did one hell of a job, didn't she? But I still want your 3 minutes. And I timed everybody else, and I got at least 1 minute from each of the other inductees. Tony gave me 10, so I do think that I will be able to fit in all 17 pages. Did you hear what she said? She's going to kill me with her bare hands. You always wanted to kill an umpire anyway. She probably has already. Anyway, where was I? Oh, okay.
First page.
For those of you that, so you're going to be here for a while, so those of you that don't know me, in the front of the room, feel free to take out your iPods. I won't be offended, because I assure you that the people that do know me in the back of the room have already taken out their iPods. First of all, thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me as the 2011 umpire inductee. And congratulations to all the other inductees. It is truly an honor for me to be a part of this outstanding group of athletes. Also, congratulations to all the previous inductees, especially the Hall of Fame umpires that are here tonight. Obviously, there's a large number of people that I need to thank for helping me get to this level. First, I'd like to thank the 2 men who got me involved in high school softball, the late Bob Cassidy and the late Jack Gallagher. It was through Jack's recommendation to Edna Frazier that Greg Ziogas, who's here tonight, and I worked our first state final. Other assigners that have had a lot of faith in me included Whitey Purick and, of course, the current assigner, Donna Vavrinac. Thanks to both of them. Thanks to my ASA State Umpire-in-Chief, Hank Korakowski, and his Chief Deputy, Tony Roberto, for all the ASA, state, regional, and national tournaments that they have sent me to over the years. And Tony, I truly apologize for making you sit through so many of those if games. In fact, I think that's why they started sending me out of state. They wanted to get rid of me. Every time I worked the final, there was an if game. I would never have gotten involved in working college games if it weren't for the tutelage of great instructors like Doug Donaldson and Zach Garr. Thanks to my brother officials from the Plainville Board of High School Umpires. In men's slow pitch, there are 3 in particular that I need to recognize. In men's slow pitch, my favorite partner was Johnny Gasick. John, when I worked with you, I never had to worry about being followed to the parking lot by a disgruntled player. No matter how big they were, and some of them were huge, they all knew better than to mess with Johnny Gasick. In high school ball, there was no better partner than John Benoit. There wasn't a person anywhere within a mile of the field that couldn't hear John's strike call. And neither one of us were so great on the rules. But anytime a coach had a question about a rule, I always let JB handle it. With a big smile on his face, he'd say something to the coach that would either have the coach nodding his head in agreement or walking away scratching his head in disbelief. Either way, John always got us out of the jam. And in college and ASA ball, my most frequent partner was and still is Lou Urso. Lou has also had many conversations with coaches that left them walking away scratching their heads. But that's because if they didn't walk away, the conversation would be still going on. And anybody that knows Lou knows I'm telling the truth. But there's nobody that knows the rules of softball better than he does. More importantly, there's no more loyal partner, companion, or friend than Lou Urso. Having said that, Lou, I have to ask a favor of you. When we're working college games together this year, if I blow a call, and it's bound to happen, please don't tell the coach I'm in the Hall of Fame. I really don't think they'll care at that moment. The next part of this speech might get me in trouble with the Hall of Fame committee. I got Tony's attention. But since umpires are always in trouble anyway, right, Judy? What difference does it make? There are two veteran coaches here today that I truly believe merit serious consideration for Hall of Fame induction. The first one is Phil Pirog from Bristol Central. Although he can be a real pain in the butt at times, there is no question that he has been for many years and still is a great coach. He has nearly 500 career victories, made 5 appearances in state championship games, and has 1 state title. The other is my former coach at Plainville High School, Phil Manarino. Phil achieved 260 victories, and his teams qualified for the state tournament over 20 consecutive years. I'd also like to mention my current softball coach at Plainville High School, Jennifer Gombatz-Mikowski. She's going to be in a lot of Hall of Fames in the near future. A 3-sport multiple all-state athlete at Southington High, Jen pitched Southington to a state championship in 1997. And I cannot mention Southington High's success in softball without stating that Lou's daughter, Wendy, also pitched them to a state championship. What she lacked in physical stature, she made up for with an oversized heart. I'm very proud of you, Wendy. Thanks to all the members of Board 6, the best board of basketball officials in Connecticut who came this evening. And thanks to all the current and retired members of the outstanding coaching staff at Plainville High School for coming as well. Next, I would like to recognize, or maybe a little of each, 3 former Plainville High School Athletes of the Year. They are Desiree Pina, Caitlin Sawchuk, and Chris Boland. Now, I'm pretty sure that Kate and Des came today mainly to support me. However, a short time ago, I heard that Chris came mainly for the prime rib. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, Chris, but that's what your buddy Coach Farrell told me. Yeah, he threw you right under the bus. Seriously, I'm very happy that all 3 of you are here today. It really means a lot to me. By the way, another thing that Coach Farrell can tell you, if you haven't figured it out already, is that I ever met a microphone that I didn't like. Right, Chris? I want to thank my older brother Frank, who flew in from Florida to be with us today. And I stress the word older. Don't let all that hair fool you. Some things in life just aren't fair. I also want to thank him for living in Florida so that Sharon and I will have a place to visit during the winter when I retire. Were you listening, dear? I just said the R word. Now it's time to get a little more serious. I'm going to tell you one war story to demonstrate how a single play can make or break an umpiring career. Several years ago, Donna Vavernick assigned me to work the plate in a Class S final between Turtelot, a heavy underdog, and perennial champion Coginchac. I believe it was one of my first plate assignments in a state championship. Turtelot scored 2 runs in the top of the first inning. Coginchac loaded the bases with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. With a 2-2 count on the batter, the Turtelot pitcher threw a beautiful changeup, and the batter swung and missed for strike 3. The problem was, the pitch was so good that it didn't reach the catcher in the air. She caught it on 1 hop. 2 outs and the bases loaded. You know what that means. Suddenly, all the action stopped. No one seemed to know what to do next. All the catcher had to do was step on home plate, tag the batter, or throw to first. Instead, she turned around and tossed the ball to me. Miraculously, and I mean miraculously, I neither caught nor touched that ball. Instead, I stepped aside and it rolled to the backstop. At that point, all hell broke loose. Everyone on the Coginchaug bench screamed, "Run, run!" All the runners advanced one base with a run scoring to make the score 2-1. The next batter lined a single to center, driving in 2 more runs to make the score 3-2 in favor of Coginchaug at the end of the first inning. The final score of that game, of course, was 3-2 Coginchaug. The game and the state championship were both decided on that one crazy play. The reason I tell that story is that I'll never know if I had messed up that call, whether or not I would be standing before you today. I may have never had another tournament assignment. But I do know for certain that I would not be standing here right now if I did not have the good fortune of marrying Sharon Elizabeth Dulac. How's that for a segue, Doug? I want to thank my father-in-law, Joe, who's with us today, and my late mother-in-law, Dorothy, for bringing her into the world. And your timing was perfect for me. Someday there will be a Hall of Fame for the wives, husbands, and significant others of coaches, players, and umpires. But for now, Sharon, I hope you'll settle for being the one and only member of the John Zadnick Hall of Fame. If I may borrow the words of a current popular singer-songwriter with the unlikely name of Bruno Mars, Sharon, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, because you're amazing, just the way you are. I love you. Once again, congratulations to the other inductees. Thank you.